we're getting the band back together.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
I'm really proud of our team. I admire our team. Enough has been said. The narrative has been said many times. But we came to an end tonight to a team who's not only talented, but great. The emotional series in the Cubs, as you guys have to know the Brewers-Cubs thing well. You have to have been part of it to understand how it really zapped a lot out of us emotionally, and then to have to come back and play right away. And then we lose a one-run game. Just takes us off. It took us off it a little bit, and then the pitching performances by the Dodgers basically put the hammer down. We faced a really, really talented team that played really, really good. We were part of tonight an iconic, maybe the best individual performance ever in a postseason game. I don't think anybody can argue with that. Guy punches out 10 and hits 3 homers. Since the beginning of time in baseball, when you have dominant pitching on the mound, throwing 98 to 100 every guy, tremendous off-speed pitches, the command they showed. I said it was dominant pitching. You want to say our offense, I think most offenses would struggle.
Now, here's your hosts, Trevor Thomas and Josh Albrecht.
What is up, Wisconsin? The band is back together, and the Brewers season comes to a close. From the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, this is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. My name is Trevor Thomas. He is Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
The band is back together, buddy.
Listen, big shout out to our buddy Mitch Thundernellis, but I'm glad to have you back, pal.
And I'm glad to be back. Thanks for having me back. We appreciate you. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Trevor Thomas IW, at On Air Josh, at Inside Wis Sports is the show. Twitter is where you'll be able to follow along with the latest and the greatest from the lives that we live and the opinions that we have, right, wrong, or sometimes nuts. Emotions, too, there on the Twitter, especially when we have a weekend in Wisconsin sports like we just did. Good God. You can watch us live on YouTube. Search at WI Sports Radio and search for Inside Wisconsin Sports. YouTube.com/at WI Sports Radio, the all-new, live, and all-day local Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Woo! Of course, on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, that's how you can connect with us, 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. That is going to be hot today. Hot. What a weekend, Josh. It's hard to Friday seems so long ago, doesn't it?
It took a lot to push it to be a long time ago, though. It felt like, for 48 hours, pretty much until Sunday, I was avoiding social media because it was just nothing but highlights of the Dodgers being the best team in the history of baseball. Shohei Ohtani is just insane. And it's against your team. You see history against your team. And the rest of the world can enjoy what Shohei did for what he did. But when you see it being off of your guys and against your guys, it's a little bit different. And so it was just, okay, I can't even have this open today. Luckily, the weekend ended with a W. Thank the Lord.
Tweet of the day last night, somebody said, can you imagine if the Packers would have blown that? How much therapy this show would have been this morning?
Oh, my. Just the entire time.
It's crazy, too, the stat I saw about the way that the Brewers season ended. So there was 163 games in between the first 4 losses of the season at the Yankees, the first time we were swept 4, and then the last time we were swept 4 against the Dodgers, those 4. Outside of those 8 games, in the 163 games in between, the Brewers went 163. That is bonkers.
It really
in
is.
It really, really is. Their season was bonkers, Josh. It was a season to remember. And that's hard right now, man. On a Monday morning after what could have been losing Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then it's over.
Yeah.
That happened quick.
Yeah. Listen, I didn't want to admit it, but it definitely felt like beating the Cubs was our World Series. We had bigger aspirations, we had bigger dreams, but once we got past the Cubs, we partied as if we just won the whole thing, you know?
Taking that to 5 games when you start 2-0 took a lot out of the Brewers.
Yep.
And Murph said it there in the open. That was an emotional series for all the reasons, and you would have to know the Cubs-Brewers stuff to get it. Well, we do. Here in Wisconsin, we get it, and it was emotionally draining. Somebody said here in the office that Game 5 against the Cubs, win-lose, is and was the most important game in Milwaukee Brewers franchise history. Think about that. If we lose that Game 5 after a 2-0 start in the best season in Brewers history with the longest win streak in Brewers history and the number 1 overall seed in the MLB, if we lose that Game 5 to Craig Counsell at AmFam Field, after all the stuff, after everything that happened, and we lose that,
yeah,
I don't know how we recover. Now, there's some recovering to do regardless of which game we lost. Getting swept by the Dodgers, not a great look.
Nope.
Starts a whole bunch of conversation that a lot of us weren't having in the regular season, if we're being honest with ourselves, and we'll cover a lot of that today. Should there be a salary cap? What does it mean when one pitcher makes more in his own salary book than the entire Brewers pitching roster? There's a whole bunch of, quote, excuses, but I think it starts first with the mirror and the Brewers understanding what it was that went horribly wrong against the Dodgers in that series. And then the Packers, thank God.
Yeah, and then the Packers. I mean, listen, it was just nothing but questions about the Brewers. That's all you could do. That's all that was left was questions. And then the Packers came, and you just went, okay, please, please win this game. And I wasn't even just saying win. I needed more than a win. I needed a just crushing win. I needed this team to say, hey, Wisconsin, hop on our backs. We got you. We got you. Nothing to worry about. And that didn't happen either. And then your expectations quickly change, and it's okay. Not a crushing win, but can we win? Maybe, please. That was my thought at the start of the fourth quarter.
I was really hoping for a blowout victory. The Packers to just jump on that bandwagon. I mean, I got a sore back. I'm sure their back is sore. Like, it was a long weekend. A lot of carrying things. A lot of weight to bear. And then they come out the way they did. And thank God for that field goal before the half to give us some sort of life. 13-6 was the halftime score, if memory serves me right.
Yep.
The only person to, quote, score on the Packers was the guy making the least amount of money in the backup kicker position against a team who was at that point 2-4, starting their backup quarterback. And I'm sitting there in my garage going, what?
Yeah.
What happened? We were so good for so long in Wisconsin. Everything was great. And then in 3 days, what is going on?
Yeah, and that's how it happens. It can all fall apart that fast. And it really seemed like it was going to. When the Cardinals scored that touchdown with 7 seconds left before the half, I was just like, okay, all right, here we go. Here we go. Like, I'm already just had the crap beaten out of me emotionally as a Wisconsin sports fan all weekend. And I'm just holding on like, okay, the Packers can do it. And then that touchdown to end the first half, I was just like, or not. You know what? Or not. let's just do this. Why not? Let's just have everything fall apart. That was the end of the first half.
Yeah. And then it recovered. Everything's all's well that ends well on a Wisconsin sports weekend on the all new Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Josh, It's good to be back. Thanks to Mitch Thunder Nellis for sitting in my chair a little bit last week. A little bit of business stuff and a little bit of personal stuff kept me off the air the majority of the week. But it was nice to visit with you guys on Thursday and Friday, and here we are back on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network to kick off a Monday morning. Could not be more grateful to be back here.
Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag blessed. We have a huge guest at the top of the hour.
Yeah,
7 a.m. Join us. I mean, listen, it's going to be really easy sports radio to sit and complain for 3 straight hours about what the season could have been and all the opportunities that the Brewers missed. And we will, but not for 3 straight hours. And so we're thinking to ourselves over the weekend, all right, how do we break up what will be the monotony of just Brewers, can I say bitching without you having to dump it?
You
Okay,
did.
good.
So,
And you didn't dump it. So I guess we're clear.
Yep.
I just don't want to do that for 3 straight hours. There's some things to celebrate here in Wisconsin. The Packers played decent, not great, but well. What was the story with their playing? I want to get to that. And oh yeah, there's this whole thing called the NBA season that tips off this very week. Bucks Wednesday versus Wizards, 7 p.m., Fiserv Forum. And that is something to preview per se, but I wanted to get the idea of Wisconsin sports through the eyes of someone that could help us play into the NBA season tipping off this week. And I'm like, Moop, got it. And so I shot out a text message joining us at 7 a.m. on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Wisconsin's own Con Knippel, Charlotte Hornet, played at Duke, Wisconsin Lutheran High School, will join us at 7 a.m., who, by the way, will probably spend the first 5 minutes doing exactly what we didn't want to do for 3 straight hours.
Exactly.
Talking about Packers and Brewers and us getting a message across to Con. K2, listen to me now. If you ever wear a Cubs or Dodgers jersey on the sideline of your bench.
Yep. Dead to me.
For whatever reason you're there. Can we just not? Can we just, the most petty thing I've ever seen, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
sure you guys talked about that.
Halburn is, he wants to be that person. He's going out of his way to troll. Like he's being a troll. Like it's done. I don't know how people defend him anymore. I don't get it.
And that pains my heart, by the way. I am a Wisconsin sports guy through and through.
Mm-hmm.
Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks, the rest. If it's in the borders, I'm interested. We talk about that on this show a lot. If it has to do with something outside the borders, and it either doesn't make crazy national news, or we can't tie it back to Wisconsin sports somehow, we're good.
Yeah.
That bothers me that Tyrese Halliburton is the way he is, and yet Wisconsin, all we want to do is have our people's backs.
Yeah.
All that
can't
we
have
want
his. I can't do it.
I know. I can't either. But I could have gotten past some of this stuff. I could have. Listen, somebody said to me once, what would it take for you to be a Bears fan? And I said, my kid playing for them. That's it. If I had a son playing for that team, I would cheer for that team in that moment. I don't know if you can call that a fan or not, but that is the only way.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in Wisconsin and I have Wisconsin pride for the sports teams here. Tyrese, you should too. You're playing for the Pacers, who we despise at the moment because they have the Bucks number. And then you do that because they took a first pitch away from you. By the way, Con Knippel threw out the first pitch.
Oh,
They didn't take it away from him. We'll talk to him about that.
Yeah, let's ask him about that.
We're going. What a weekend in Wisconsin sports. Wisconsin football apparently is in shambles.
Oh, it's been there. Just it was confirmed over the weekend.
And we knew it was going to happen. Ohio State was favored by
Not like
25. And so there was a thought of, all right, well, this is going to happen. But to not score any points 2 weeks in a row and be shut out in a massive way. And then to hear from our friends at Badgers Extra that a huge meeting happened last week with Chris McIntosh and the players at Wisconsin, reassuring them that there would be no change at the head coaching position. And apparently a player or two walked out of that meeting. And then some other players were really pleased to hear that Coach Fick wasn't going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
My question, and I have questions coming up next, is does he have the tools for the job? And by the way, I don't know what the tools are. Is it coaching? Is it players? Is it a checkbook? I don't know what the tools. Oh, yeah, it is. And would a different person fix it? Not sure. We'll talk about that next. The all-new Wisconsin Sports Radio Network is alive and well. What's up to our affiliates across the state of Wisconsin? Let's start in the far northwest, shall we?
Okay.
Good morning to Duluth Superior. Hello. AM 710 WDSM710.com. Good morning to all of you in the far, is that even the Northwoods or is that north of the Northwoods?
That's up there.
I don't know. I've never been there.
Yeah.
But I know there's a lot of trees up there.
Which I like that. I like that,
Me
though.
too. Nothing better. God's country. Love it that we're on in Duluth Superior. What's up, Wausau?
Yeah,
93.9thegame.com. That's how you listen to our affiliate there, or 93.9 FM. Green Bay, Appleton, 99.7 and 101.9 WNFL. Green Bay, Fox Valley. That's where I am, here in Green Bay. I live here. I'm in the WNFL studios. So proud to be a part of this brand new launch of the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. And, of course, the mothership, the flagship, the Fan Milwaukee, 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan. Watch us live on YouTube and stream us on thefanmilwaukee.com. That's where you are, Josh.
That's where I am right now. Hi, everybody.
We did a little show together on Friday, a little surprise visit by yours truly down there. I was in for a segment anyway.
Yep. Did not tell me you were coming in.
Sure didn't.
Had it all set up to have you there on the YouTubes, and then through the door comes all 6'8" of you.
And you weren't like, I expected you to be like, dude, this is great. What's up? And you're like, okay, he's here. And you went right into producer mode.
Yeah, I had, listen, I got to get the show going, man.
How do we turn this on? What's going on?
I got to get a third camera up. I got to make sure the mic works. All right.
All is well. All right. The next segment here on Inside Wisconsin Sports is something we call I Have Questions. And boy, do I have some questions from over the weekend. I know, Josh, you do too. And listeners statewide, we want your questions and we want them now. Join us on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I Have Questions is next. You are listening to Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Stay here.
Clock continues to run. 35 seconds. Arizona with 2 timeouts. They need a touchdown from the 26. There comes Parsons. Wow. His 3rd sack today.
I looked at Rhodey during that, and I said, was that number 3, 4? Where are we at? 3 sacks yesterday for Micah Parsons. Hey, NFL, appreciate the little whatever you did with the whole holding situation on Micah Parsons.
They listened.
It worked. We appreciate it. What is up, Wisconsin? Welcome in. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Follow us on Twitter at Trevor Thomas IW, at On Air Josh, at Inside Wis Sports, and of course, the all-new network at WI Sports Radio on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. You can watch us live there, youtube.com/@WI Sports Radio. You can also just search Inside Wisconsin Sports. We should pop up right there. The playoff bald is gone.
It gone.
Meaning the bald is back. I know.
I'm sad to see it go. But listen, I'll always have the memory of you with that beautiful head of hair, taking your smelly 15-year-old quarter zip off as we waited in line to get a beverage at game 2, just standing there in a gray T-shirt.
Sweaty.
Oh, it was a beautiful sight.
It was not.
It was because you're tall, dark, and handsome. And in that moment, I went, yeah, see? He's just a normal guy.
Somebody's got sweats in the same spot I do.
There was one moment in time. That was it. And I'll hold on to it forever.
Oh, all right. A segment we love. It's 25 past 6. Josh, I have questions.
When things just don't add up, Trevor and Josh ask the hard questions or just point out how messed up stuff is.
I only have one question. Can you fly this plane and land it? Surely you can't be serious.
Do you view this season as a failure?
You asked me the same question last year.
What's the most important question the Badgers have to answer Saturday?
This is a great question. Oh my God, this is a great question.
It's time for I Have Questions on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
We may not need to burn the whole thing down, Josh, but I've got some questions.
Maybe we do.
I think there's some burning that needs to happen. I have a feeling that your torch is already lit, per se. The pilot light of anger has been lit in Josh's life. We'll get to his questions and mine, and we absolutely want to get to yours as well. Join us on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line 414-677-1250. I am very grateful for a few welcome back text messages there. I missed you too, Wisconsin. I am so glad to be back. All right, let's ask some questions, shall we? First up on my docket, I'm going to go, you go. I go, you go. And then we'll sprinkle in a message or two here that we get on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line. Here's my first one. The Brewers' season ends in epic fashion. We get swept 4-0 against the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, per Giannis, is this season a failure?
No.
I agree. It can't be. Now, there are some people already on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line saying, spin this however you want. This season is a failure. Go ahead, though. Let's have a great time remembering all the wins and all the streaks and all the players that should not have been where they were and all the things. But it's a failure because the Brewers have never won a World Series. They never win a World Series. So let's just, if this is what we need to take as our World Series, beating the Cubs, well then golf clap. But this season was a failure. I don't agree with that, Josh. Why?
Neither do I.
Why don't you?
Because, listen, it was always going to be a successful season. You just didn't want it to end. That's the frustrating point. And the person that texted that in this morning, make sure to tune in tomorrow for your Take Back Tuesday, because that's what that is. Way too many things were accomplished this season. Way too many to say that this season was a failure. You broke team streak. There's a new team streak. You won the most regular season games in team history. You got past that hump of not winning a series in the postseason. How many years have we gone without winning one? You got past it. And then to do that against the Cubs in what is the biggest rivalry series in the history of the team, and you beat them, that is, all of those are things to celebrate. The fact that, and listen, a lot of people, was it great that we got swept by the Dodgers? Of course not. Did it give some fuel to Cubs fans to say, well, curse of the L flag and blah, 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 all this other
From
stuff?
the couch.
Yeah, of course. But if you lost to the Dodgers 4-2 or 4-1, it doesn't change the fact that all of those same arguments exist and that you still have to focus on all the amazing things that happened.
And why is that so hard to remember? That's literally my
question.
question.
Because it's so fresh. Because the wound is so fresh.
I don't know if it matters. I think we could have lost the World Series and our fans would be right here in this moment, right now.
Those people, yes.
So the problem is progress. In order to win in any sport, rarely do you go from zero to hero, from chump to champion. There has to be progress. This season, with a lot of young guys, showed a lot of progress. I have questions about Christian Yelich.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's something there in the playoffs. I also have questions about why we went from decent to fair to horrendous. I don't even want to pull up the stats. Go find the article that shows the batting average for the Brewers.
I don't want
to either. That's why I said I don't want to pull it up. But if you care to, feel free. I'm not. Josh isn't, but it's bad. Really bad. Josh, what's one of your questions?
Yeah, I have questions for you, Trevor.
One at a time. One at a time.
Okay.
I heard a big breath. I know.
Just the first one. Okay. Listen, I'll keep it on brand here with the Brewers. Do you blame Mark Antanasio at all for this season?
This isn't the first time this is going to come up in this show today, and probably not in this segment. I don't think so, and it's because I own my own business. I understand profit and loss, and I understand cash flow. The guy is an entrepreneur through and through, but if the books don't allow you to ingest the amount, do you think the books allow?
Listen,
is he supposed to lose money? Like, this is a business.
Poor baby.
Hold on. Pause. One of my questions here, and this is relative to your question, is or are professional sports sustainable? Specifically in Major League Baseball, in comparison to the way the Dodgers or the Mets or the Yankees or the Cubs are paid in comparison to the teams like the Brewers and the other small market teams. I don't think we blame Antanasio at all. If anybody has to take blame, it's Major League Baseball.
Yeah, of course. We know that. Okay, here's why this has been such a frustrating point for me. Because I definitely think over the last 6-7 years, there has been blame to put on Mark Antanasio, to put together a team, to go for it when the opportunity was right, to push some money out, to take a hit, knowing that Milwaukee, if they ever made it, would make him so much money in merch sales alone. We would wear World Series gear. We would be buried in it. I mean, literally, it would be unstoppable. You can print it for the next 5 years. That being said, I can't blame him this year, and it kills me because I want to blame him. I don't know that if he goes and he gets one guy, I don't even know who that guy would have been, but if he goes and gets one guy, he opens those pocketbooks and just goes and gets one more guy, I don't think you're getting past the Dodgers. I don't think that one person makes a difference. You know, we talked about if Woody stayed healthy. I don't think it mattered. Maybe you win a game. Maybe getting one person helps you win a game. Maybe you don't get swept. But the Dodgers just went out there and proved that it wouldn't have mattered, man. I mean, they flipped a switch. They proved who they were. Future Hall of Famers. That's what that team is. It's a fantasy mode team. You built the team on your PlayStation. That's what you did in real life. And I just don't know that regardless of how much money Mark Antanasio was going to open up and spend this year in comparison to years past, that it was going to make a difference. And I hate that that's the truth.
The Nicolay Law fan talking text line. Somebody just texted us, how much did Mark pay for the team?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think it's worth now? It's worth a lot more.
Correct. That's how sports work.
Yeah, but here's the problem. That doesn't mean it's cash in the bank. Mark Attanasio paid $223 million in 2005. Current estimated value of the Milwaukee Brewers. Josh, take a guess.
$1 billion.
1.6 billion with a B.
I'll take that. That's a win for me.
1.6 billion. Okay. That doesn't mean that the difference of those two numbers is money in the bank. It's an estimated value that if he were to sell. I don't know that professional sports banks are handing out loans for estimated values so that we can go all in on players to win the World Series. You still have to pay that back. I think it's a business, and I think the business is broken. I think Major League Baseball's business is broken. But here's the problem. It's only broken for us. It's not broken for the Dodgers. It's not broken for the Blue Jays currently. The Cubs had a great season, over 90 wins. Not broken for them. I don't know what the Mets are doing. They're spending a boatload of money and not showing anything for it. But it's not broken for all the teams. It's just broken for us and other teams that are in the same level of spending that the Brewers are in.
Small market teams. Absolutely. $300 million TV rights difference. That's between the Dodgers and the Brewers. $300 million.
And that's what some people are talking about. Like, should there be a revenue share? What do we need to do to start sharing the quote-unquote wealth? I don't know. But I think we all have to be prepared for no baseball in 2027. Because if this is where fans are trending and the league is trending and the CBA is trending, I have no idea. Now, there was a great question over the weekend. Somebody asked me, if the NBA can do it, why can't the MLB figure it out? If the NBA could figure out how to put some sort of salary restrictions in, then why can't Major League Baseball figure it out? The NFL has figured it out.
You think they can't figure it out? They absolutely could figure it out. They don't want to figure it out. They're making a lot of money. Everyone's making money. And they know that if it gets to the point in which they're fighting because the small market teams go, we need a salary cap, then there's not going to be any money because there's going to be lockouts and stalls and problems. And so they don't want to mess it up. It's the people that make all the money that are stopping it from happening. They have the ability to make it work. Absolutely.
Ryan from the Falls with a question on the Nicolay Law fan talk and text line. 414-677-1250. Get your questions in a segment we call I Have Questions. Here's this question. Is it seriously time to start questioning Matt LaFleur's ability to lead this team? Boy, I have thoughts on that. Josh, I want you to go first.
To lead? No. But to maybe call plays? Yes. I still think that you can't deny the numbers of Matt LaFleur. You can't deny that he keeps winning. And the grass is not always greener. But that doesn't mean that in all aspects of the team, he needs to be in charge.
The key word in your question, Ryan, is lead. And I think that's a fascinating way to put it. They're winning. They're 4-1-1. Have they had the success in the playoffs and the Super Bowl in the last few years? No. But they did go to the NFC Championship game 2 years in a row with the guy that they're going to face this week, which, by the way, great week to come back on the radio for yours truly. Brewer season ends. Bummer. Packers barely squeak out a win. Badgers, shambles. And, oh, yeah, we're going to play Aaron Rodgers this weekend.
Wow, you sound like a realist.
And is it a late night game? Perfect. Perfect.
Just what I wanted.
Just what I was hoping for. I don't know what leadership means to you, Ryan from the Falls, but I know what it means to me, and I know what it means to the majority of people that have good leaders in their lives. I'm not questioning his ability to lead. I think he's proven that he can be a leader. What you and I are both missing is charisma and energy and positivity and life and emotion and the rest. And that may, by the way, just not be who Matt LaFleur is. He may not be that guy, and that's okay as long as it leads to wins in that column. What we're questioning is why it doesn't seem like the Packers can get over the hump. Why we can't blow out teams that are 2-4 on the road. And there's all sorts of weird things that happened over the weekend with the Packers playing and doing walkthroughs on the tarmac. That happened. I was completely oblivious to that on Saturday. I'm not going to lie. I kind of wanted to tune sports out Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. I wonder why.
Brewers lost. Season over. Badgers didn't even show up at Camp Randall Stadium. And I just wanted to sit in my garage with the TV we have out there, turn the lights off, pop some popcorn, and watch The Dark Knight. And by golly, that's what we did.
Can I tell you really quick?
Yeah.
So Saturday is Jordy's birthday, actual birthday.
Yeah.
Had his kid birthday party with all of his friends, and I literally that night had the thought, and this is what's more important than sports. Like, I had to tell myself, like, here you go, Josh. You can just, you know what? You could just focus on this instead. You could just focus on family and caring about that. I could just feel myself just about to shake, just being so mad that I'm having those thoughts.
Look at what my life is. Kids and a beautiful wife.
Yeah,
just,
Josh, everything's fine.
Yeah. And then the game started the way it did yesterday. And everything is not fine. And everything will be okay. Bucks start this week, buddy. Aren't you a big Bucks guy?
Listen, I love Giannis the most. So every time that man does anything, I smile. I love him so much. Are you going to
show up the day after Giannis is no longer a Buck?
I don't say that this morning. Okay.
Too soon?
Yes, too soon. What? No, stop. No, Giannis plays here.
I know he does.
Okay.
Just poking the bear.
Yep. Please don't do that.
Big Josh Bear.
No, I don't like that.
Man, we love it. We love that you're here. We love that we're back together as a team, and we love this all-new Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. We're in those studios, and we could not be more excited to be here. We are powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. The most electrifying sound of the day is next, and, of course, it includes a kicker. I mean, why wouldn't it?
Yeah, obviously.
That's just how Wisconsin sports fans' lives are right now. What's the most electrifying sound from the weekend? Oh, I think it has to do with a field goal kick. Perfect. Good God. This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Don't go anywhere. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back inside Wisconsin Sports, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht, and today's most electrifying sound of the day.
It's time for
The most electrifying.
sound of the day
The most electrifying.
on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brought to you by Best Electric. Learn more at bestelect.com. Don't stress. Connect with the best.
Records were set this weekend in ways by a guy that you maybe didn't see coming. Here's the sound.
From the right hash, Lucas Haversick from 61, and the kick is good. A new Green Bay Packers franchise record. A 61-yard field goal by Haversick.
Man, he put all of that right leg into that kick. And kudos to Matt LaFleur, Jordan Love, the offense, understanding the timing and the situation.
And that was the most electrifying sound of the day, brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress. Connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. You know what I love the most from that clip? The wow. Because that's seriously how I feel like we all felt. I mean, not your main kicker coming in. They tell the story, substitute teacher. You know, he was like a week away. He was going to take that job. Now, not only is he playing in the NFL, but he's setting the record now in the record books for longest kick, longest field goal in Green Bay Packers history. Insane.
Do you know what it was before it was 61?
60.
No, this was the first time that anybody wearing a Packers kicker uniform kicked anything that was good with 60 or more. So it was less than 60. Go ahead.
58?
It was 58.
Okay.
By?
I don't know. Was it Crosby?
Yeah, it had to be Crosby. He kicked for too long.
No,
Mason Crosby, 2011, 58 yards, but not anymore. Am I the only one that was nervous when Haversick went out there to boot this 61-yarder, and I noticed that his plant foot was going to be right in the middle of a bright red spot in their center field logo, on their 50-yard line logo? I was like, ooh, is paint slippery?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I honestly thought maybe if when he planted his foot that there was a chance that he wasn't going to have the grip he was hoping for, completely based on paint. Obviously, I understand that they know what they're doing when they paint these fields, at least at this level. The Hall of Fame game a couple years ago, not so much.
Yeah.
But this one, I was like, oh, man, does that deter his ability to plant at all? Clearly not. That was good. By the way, I love it when these kicks happen and we go, oh, that would have been good from 70.
Yeah.
Nope. That would have been good from about 62.
Yeah. I think he had another yard on that bad boy.
Maybe.
But let me tell you, what I loved about it was it happened so fast because we all thought, like, this is it. This is done. They had one play. They call a timeout with 1 second left. They run him out there. There wasn't a lot of time to think. It was just, all right, yeah, I guess. I thought it was over. I thought the half was over anyway. So, but then for him to drill it too, when all you heard was, I mean, all the reports said this guy's dynamite from 45 yards in, you know, and then go out there for 61 and he nails it, man.
Nailed it.
I had a buddy who said he just guaranteed himself a job in the NFL. Even if it's not with the Packers, that kick, congratulations. You're going to be an NFL kicker.
Right after the game last night, there was a whole bunch of conversation, even in the post-game media with Matt LaFleur, which we'll get to in a lot. There's a lot there in the 8 o'clock hour. But they said, you can't cut this guy, right? Like, do you now have to carry 2 kickers on the 53-man roster because we don't want anybody else in the league to have them? What a problem to have.
Yeah.
Whoa, what a problem to have in comparison to where we were 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Like, now we have a guy that's booting franchise record field goals when we weren't sure if we could make an extra point.
Yep.
McManus comes in. Now he's a little twinged up. Something's going on with his quad. Found a replacement. Now we're not sure if we can let go of the replacement. What a whirlwind. That's so typical Wisconsin sports.
It really is.
To be honest. The last segment in the 6 o'clock hour, the 6:25 segment, we call I Have Questions. And there are a lot of questions that we need to get to before the top of the hour here on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. 414-677-1250. Remember, top of the next hour, 7:02. Our guy, Con Knipple of the Charlotte Hornets, jumps on with us to talk a little Wisconsin sports. And I'm curious to know how his journey's going. Dude, 2 years ago, he was on his way to class, his senior year of high school at Wisconsin Lutheran.
Yeah, his life's changed a little bit.
A little bit. Paycheck's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Not working at the movie theater anymore like I was in high school.
Must be nice.
Which will happen first? A question from Ziggy. Josh, I am simply the messenger.
Yeah, I see it.
Which will happen first? Giannis leaves. There will be an MLB lockout. The Packers make the Super Bowl, or Badgers football actually wins a game. Which, by the way, the fact that we're not sure when they're going to win next. Ooh,
yeah.
What?
That's a problem.
What do you think, Josh?
My gut is saying the Badgers football team wins the game. It's one game. They got to win one game. Win one. I'm absolutely not saying that it's Giannis leaving. And the MLB lockout is at least a season away. So I'm going to go Badger football, winning one game. Don't let me down, boys.
I'm not sure they're going to win the rest of the season.
Come on. One. Give me one.
I also am not quite sure why Luke Fickell still has a job. It was a question that I didn't get to. And it's not that I think he's the quote-unquote problem, per se. It's really easy when a team isn't doing what we all think they should do in order for us to go, it's the head coach's fault. I want to get to that in the next hour. Is it his fault, or does he not maybe have the tools to succeed? Which, by the way, I don't know what the tools are.
It's a good thing to include in the morning mind out.
I think we should do that at 7:25. But up next, Con Knipple joins us here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. We are powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Con to Knipple, NBA starter. He joins us next on Inside Wisconsin Sports.
We're getting the band back together.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
I'm really proud of our team. I admire our team. Enough has been said. The narrative has been said many times. But it came to an end tonight to a team that was not only talented, played great. The emotional series in the Cubs, as you guys have to know the Brewers-Cubs thing well. You have to have been part of it to understand how it really zapped a lot out of us emotionally, and then to have to come back and play right away. And then we lose a one-run game. Just takes us off. It took us off it a little bit, and then the pitching performances by the Dodgers basically put the hammer down. We faced a really, really talented team that played really, really good. We were part of tonight an iconic, maybe the best individual performance ever in a postseason game. I don't think anybody can argue with that. Guy punches out 10 and hits 3 homers. Since the beginning of time in baseball, when you have dominant pitching on the mound, throwing 98 to 100 every guy, tremendous off-speed pitches, the command they showed. I said it was dominant pitching. You want to say our offense, I think most offenses would struggle.
Now, here's your hosts, Trevor Thomas and Josh Albrecht.
Oh, the offense struggled. Not a great series for the Brewers and the Dodgers. Well, not a great series for the Brewers. Dodgers had a great series. And I'm not even happy for them.
Of course not.
What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in Inside Wisconsin Sports, live on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I'm Trevor Thomas. He is Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
You can follow us on Twitter at Trevor Thomas IW, at On Air Josh, at Inside Wis Sports for the show, and of course the all-new Wisconsin Sports Radio Network on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, where you can watch us live at WI Sports Radio. Happy Monday morning, Wisconsin. It's happy-ish. Thank God for yesterday. And we jump in with Con 2 Knipple. K2 is just as big of a sports fan in Wisconsin as the rest of us. And, oh, yeah, he plays in the NBA now. As of, right. Is it official on Wednesday, K2? Like, are you in the NBA? I guess you're in the NBA already because you got drafted in the NBA, right?
Yeah, I'd say my teammates.
I think you're muted, my man. There you go. Come back. There you go. You're back. You're good. You're good. We got you.
Yeah, my teammates would definitely say Wednesday it starts.
First day of school.
Apparently, you're a rookie all the way up until the start of next season, the first game of next season. So the second-year guys are pretty pumped about not being rookies anymore.
Oh, that's nice. As of Wednesday, though.
Yes.
So you're not a rookie yet, and they're still rookies. Does that mean they get you coffee?
Ooh. No, that's
that's definitely not how it goes.
He just doesn't even get coffee. Even if he goes and gets it himself, just no coffee yet. Yeah.
Wisconsin Lutheran High School grad, Duke, and of course now the Charlotte Hornets. Con Knipple joins us on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. K2, you and I were texting yesterday. First off, how are you after the Packers victory? Because I know that you're one of us, man. Like, it was in the first half.
Well said.
Yeah, I mean, winning's better than losing. So I'm glad to, snatch a win there. But I still don't get the 4th and 2 decision at the end. Like, I ended up liking that we went for it, obviously, because we got it. But if you're going to go for it, just go for it right away. We come out, we waste the timeout, and then go for it. It just was questionable clock management, because if we don't get it there, I mean, Love makes a great throw to Kraft, but it was just a lot of questionable decisions throughout the game, and they're going to bite us in the butt.
Wait, we had questionable clock management on the Green Bay Packers?
No, that doesn't sound right. No, first time all season, right?
Oh, I was there for that one.
Yeah, you were in Dallas. So how did you, obviously, Wisconsin sports fan, how did you go into that Packers game, watching that Packers game, after seeing what had just happened with the Brewers. Did that impact you watching the game at all? Were your emotions where a lot of ours were of watching that game was different because of what had happened in a completely different sport?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the Brewers, are such a light for us all summer, and they're just a fantastic team to watch, and to see the season end just like totally how the Brewers were not all year. Like we didn't work pitch counts. We couldn't get on base. So it was just disappointing to see a team that played so well all year just not play like themselves at all in the biggest moment. So it was good to get the Packers back and get a win, especially with the state of the Badger football program, in light of that as well. So, we got to have something.
Yeah. Well, something happened yesterday. Thank God, because at halftime it was 13-6, and I'm like, please, God, no. I do not want a Monday morning this.
Please.
K2 joins us, Con Knippel, Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. All right, man. How is the NBA different than the league that you were in before that's called college hoops? Other than the paycheck's a little bit bigger now, which, by the way, congrats.
Yeah.
Having a great success. Good for you.
Yeah. Just the pace of the game. Like, there's just so many more possessions in NBA basketball than there's in college, especially with our team. We're trying to play fast. And then just all the athletes are, a little bit quicker, a little bit longer. So you got to be able to make decisions and reads offensively and defensively just a little bit quicker. So that pace is still coming for me. I think that's really the biggest difference. And then obviously, the sheer amount of games and the travel is, you still have some semblance of like a weekend in college, and it's in the NBA, it's off day, practice day, game day.
Jeez, that's wild. So it all starts Wednesday, man. Charlotte Hornets, Brooklyn Nets, they're on your home turf, if you will, the Spectrum Center in Charlotte. You're projected to start. Can you just back up a second and whirlwind us? Because at this time 2 years ago, you were walking the halls already, probably getting some breakfast at Wisconsin Lutheran High School. And literally 2 years later, you're about to start your first NBA game on Wednesday. How do you wrap your mind around that?
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. It's just a lot of hard work. I mean, I think just doing the right things, just coming in, putting extra time. And it doesn't feel like anything more than that. Like, just right now, I'm just trying to keep doing what I've always done. Just keep working on my game, keep learning, keep being a sponge. And obviously that's turned out really well for me.
Have you allowed yourself to be starstruck at all? Or is there any of that period just because you made that jump fast, right? From where you were to where you are now. Is there anything inside of you that just you stop yourself, you pinch yourself once in a while and go, man, this is this guy. I'm here, I'm playing with these guys. Or do you not allow yourself to kind of experience that and just try to stay locked in?
No, for sure. I definitely experienced it. Like we played OKC at OKC in the preseason.
Yeah.
And like they just won the finals, and you switch on to Shea, and it's like my head was spinning a little bit.
Of course.
But I think, each game you play, it kind of settles down. So we just played the Knicks at Madison Square Garden and Brunson. And I wasn't as, my head wasn't spinning as much in that game as it was in OKC. So you start to get used to it. But I think there also is it's a good thing to have a healthy appreciation that you're doing something pretty cool.
Have you been in practice yet? And MJ walks in.
No. So okay. he's not super involved anymore.
Still, I mean, he's a minority owner. So at some point, you're going to be like, I understand. There's some NBA players. Maybe you grew up a Bucks fan, right? Pat Connaughton's on the Hornets now. Like, oh, that's cool, Patsy.
Yeah, Pat's great.
And MJ walks into a practice, and you're like, okay, is that a different?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would scare me a little bit.
It's coming, buddy. It's coming.
It'll be an awesome moment when it does.
K2, Con Knipple on Inside Wisconsin Sports on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Trevor, Thomas, Josh Albrecht. So K2, I wanted to set some rules with you if I could. Now that you're going to get your NBA careers off to a start, we love you dearly in Wisconsin. You grew up one of us, Wisconsin sports fans. I've got a couple rules. Okay, here's the first one. Rule number 1: don't ever wear a Cubs or Dodgers jersey on your bench.
Mm-hmm.
Rule number 2: see rule number 1. That's it.
I have another one I'd like to add to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're not allowed to have your dad come out and yell at Giannis.
Don't do that either.
Okay.
No,
that's
his dad would never. Con's such a great guy.
I'm just saying. That's rule 2. That's it.
And you actually got to throw out a first pitch at a Brewers game. So, I mean, I think we've covered all the bases with you, K2. Like, we trust that you're going to wear the cape that is Wisconsin pride well. You have already, and you always will. When you're in the league now, though, now you're one of the people that Wisconsin sports fans are fans of, right? You're one of us. Sure, you're with Charlotte, but you grew up here. You get us. You were a Brewers fan and a Bucks fan and a Badgers fan and a Packers fan. You still are. And now those fans are fans of you in the professional league. Have you noticed that you have to balance your fandom with the sport that you now play? And I mean that, right? Because 2 years ago, dude, you were just as much of a fan as we were. And then you went on to do what you did at Duke, and now you're in the league. Like, bang, bang, bang. And yet yesterday, you're texting with me going, what was that third down call?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't like the reverse handoff to Emmanuel Wilson there on 3rd and 4. But, yeah, there's definitely a balance. Like, obviously, not a Bucks fan anymore. You know, like that's different. But yeah, like we have so many games, so we're playing on Sundays, and I'm not used to that, and so you're gonna miss some Packer games. I missed Brewers game 5. We had a preseason game in Dallas, and one of our assistant coaches is from he's from Watertown, so Blaine Miller's from Watertown. He was giving me score updates throughout the game. We were winning by 20, but he was like 3-1.
That's awesome.
So there is some of that. Like all of our guys on our team follow a bunch of sports. So, but it is just sometimes you have practice, you have games during the games you want to watch.
Do you feel the pressure as somebody that now wears the jersey, and there are kids like yourself that are not that much younger than you now looking at you going, hey, dude, role model. I want to be you.
Oh, I think I think you try to be, a good example. I don't think of it as like people looking up to me. I know that there probably is in Wisconsin. And so, you just try to be a good guy, remember where you came from, make family important for you. And I think doing those things will, show a good example for other kids. But I don't think of myself as a role model too often, because I don't know. I don't try to make myself bigger than I am.
Yeah, that's great. Listen, Con, in the next segment we do, it's called our morning mind dump, and it's where we let ourselves and our listeners kind of get things off their chest about sports, and specifically things that happened the day before. And I feel like in this interview, man, you've got some stuff you got to get off your chest about this Packers team and this game that happened yesterday. I almost just want to let you have have the floor for 2 minutes, just whatever. If you need to get something off your chest about
Safe
this
place. Yeah.
I mean, you talked about the Emmanuel Wilson, like, just let it go right now. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think if we have a $50 million quarterback, like, we got to let it rip. I get it. Reed's out, Watson's out, but the first 2 games, I guess Reed was playing in the first 2 games. I think they showed a graphic last game. It's like 11, 12 yards an attempt. In the last 4 weeks, it's been 3. Like, you got to let this guy throw the ball. He's a good player. He's too good. I think he's a top 8 quarterback in the league. and we're throwing dink and dunk, and we'll go possessions where we run the ball 3 times in a row. I just don't understand it. And then the clock management stuff is just weird. The Dallas game, I still don't know how to feel about that.
I was there, man.
Yeah. I mean, the defense didn't play well yesterday either. Especially in the second. One guy did. One guy saved the game for us. $50 million player. Let him make plays.
Shocker.
I think it goes for both sides of the ball. So, it's just, leaves me disappointed. Obviously, I'm a spoiled brat. We're Packers fans. I think we all should realize that. They're always really good. But we understand that this team should be, after we watch the first 2 weeks, you get our hopes up to this. So we're looking at our defense like it's all time. And I just think we're not aggressive enough.
Boy, careful on how good you are at your analysis, man, or you're gonna have to join us every Monday.
Yeah. That was it.
Good.
That was it. That was perfect. Don't you feel a little better now?
Yeah.
Just figure that out. See?
There
you go. There you go. Love it.
All right, K2, you got to get to the facility and prep for game 1 of your NBA career on Wednesday. We're really grateful for you joining us. Con Knipple on the Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. K2, go get them, buddy. We'll see you on. Oh, wait, do you know the date? You're coming back to Milwaukee?
13th, or is it the 14th?
Of
November.
Are you back? I know you're back January 2nd for sure, but I think you're playing Milwaukee early. Do you come back in November?
Yeah, I think we're in Milwaukee November 14th.
How's that going to feel?
That'll be sweet. We have a big group from Wisconsin Lutheran coming over. I think it's also Wells night, so that's my church synod.
Oh boy,
at the game. So
how many comp tickets do you have to give?
Tons. So
tons. Oh, seriously, if it's Wells night and it's your first time back in Milwaukee, all right. So we're gonna set the line. Gosh, that's a lot of tickets at 130.
Yeah,
let us know.
We'll see like how much the school gets and how much I have to get, but either way,
yeah. There'll be a little work that has to be
comperific.
Yeah.
K2, we appreciate you, man. Good luck on Wednesday. Stay in touch. We'll check in with you throughout the season, and thanks for jumping on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network and Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. You're the best.
Thanks for having me.
K2, Con Knipple, Charlotte Hornets, Duke basketball, Wisconsin Lutheran High School, and one of us, by the way.
Yes, he was.
Annoyed by the Packers, bummed about the Brewers, wishes Wisconsin football would have a football team. I mean, he's one of us. He just happens to now be in the NBA, literally 2 years removed from high school. It's absolutely bonkers. He's a good dude.
Yes, he is. And we appreciate him joining us on the Fan Guest Hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all.
All right, up next, Josh mentioned it. It is our morning mind dump. The coffee's kicked in. Usually we do this at 7 o'clock, but when K2 says he can join us at 7, we go, okay, that sounds good. We'll catch up with K2 from the Charlotte Hornets and, of course, hear from the Badger State. All right, get him in. The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line, 414-677-1250. It is time for the Monday morning edition of the Mind Dump on Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Statewide, baby. What's up, Josh?
What's going on, pal? Happy to have you back.
Man, it's so good to be back. Good to see you. Good to hear from all of the listeners all over the state of Wisconsin. Checking in on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line 414-677-1250. I mean, all over the state of Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah.
Duluth Superior on 710 WDSM, Wausau 93.9 FM, Green Bay and Appleton 99.7 WNFL, and the mothership in Milwaukee 1250 AM and 105.7 FM. The Fan, the all-new Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Our thanks to Con Knipple, Wisconsin Lutheran High School, Duke, the Charlotte Hornets.
There you go.
I would love to have him in the.
Yeah. Yeah, but it worked out all right for him.
I think he's doing well.
Can't be mad at him looking at it now.
We will always bump the Monday morning mind dump for a big-time guest at 7 o'clock. Our thanks to K2, and now back to regularly scheduled programming time for the morning mind dump.
I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
The coffee is kicked in. We're awake and ready to roll. Let's get some things off our chest and out of our heads.
You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about, okay?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
We've got no food. We've got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off.
It's time for the morning mind dump on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
The voices in your head, time to get them out. Time to get it off your chest. The morning mind dump on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. This is a safe place, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Just get it all out.
Yep.
Con did it. K2 did it for us.
Sure did.
Not so impressed with the play calling or the clock management of your Green Bay Packers. Told you he was one of us. He did a great job. Careful what you wish for, Con.
Sure did.
Talk to you Monday. We do this every day, and on Mondays, it's a little bit deeper of a morning mind dump on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. All right, get yours in. The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line wide open. 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. Let's go right to the text line, Josh.
Okay.
There's a goodie that kind of started this off, and I'm excited to get to it. Brent from Franklin.
Yep.
Here's kind of how the weekend goes for him. He goes, Badgers, bad. The Miz, good. Yelich, hitting, bad. Churio, good. Otani, crazy good. Crazy good.
Mm-hmm.
So what he's saying is there's good and bad.
Yeah.
Sounds like realistic.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Let's break this down. Badgers, bad.
I mean, the worst.
So I asked this question in the 6 o'clock hour, and I'm going to do it so too here in the morning mind dump. Does Luke Fickell have the tools to succeed at his job? Now, pause. I don't know what the right tools are. Never been a head coach, never will be a head coach. Probably at any level ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe on Madden. That's about it. What are the tools to succeed in college athletics? Oh, here I go. Now I'm getting ramped up. Here we go. First off, it's not college athletics anymore. No. Can we stop calling it that?
They won't, but you're right.
I know, but I want to stop calling it college athletics. It is not. It is the JV of professional sports. And so if Coach Fickell doesn't have the tools for the job, I want to know what the tools are. Is it players? Is it a checkbook? Is it assistant coaching? Is it the board of regents? I have no friggin' clue what leads to success in college athletics anymore, specifically at Wisconsin football. And you are lying if you thought when they hired Luke Fickell that that was a bad idea. It was not.
Mm-mm. The hype was there.
Huge. Private jet.
Mm-hmm.
It was like Brett Favre returning to Lambeau Field. Look at him coming off the plane. Oh, look, Chris McIntosh is there with him, who had a huge meeting last week, per our friends at Badger Extra and Jim Polzine, said that McIntosh, the AD at Wisconsin, went and met with some players and said, hey, everything's gonna be all right. Or not. Some player walked out of that meeting when they were told that Coach Fickell was safe, and yet other players who are bound to secrecy, which, by the way, that's great, at any level of sports. Now, don't tell anybody we're talking about this, okay? Right. We're still talking to college kids. Boy, I'm worried about the Wisconsin football program. And then, over the weekend, I'm sure you saw this, in the worst run in Wisconsin football since pre-Barry Alvarez, let's truck out the 2000 Wisconsin Rose Bowl championship team, including Barry Alvarez. I'm not kidding when I say, how many times can we put Barry back into the limelight and have us forget how bad football sucks at Wisconsin right now? Those were great teams. I'm all in on that. Barry handed the program off to his pick, Brett Bielema. Didn't go well. Anderson, not so good. Christ, lasted a minute. Felt like Wisconsin football. And then, of course, it had to have been Jim Leonard, right? No. Luke Fickell. And now here we are. Haven't scored a point in 3 weeks. Blanked by Iowa. Didn't see that coming. Blanked by Ohio State. Definitely saw that coming. Now we go to Oregon. Sweet. There's problems in Madison, Josh.
Yes, there are. All right, can I unhook the leash? Can I go? Okay. So first, the Badgers are so bad that I don't even consider, like, they don't deserve the time in my brain and the space.
But we got to give them time.
I understand. I'm just saying, like, the space in my brain, there's so much going on right now in the world of Wisconsin sports, and I knew they were going to lose that game regardless. I didn't expect them to get blanked, but it was like, okay, yeah, they're really bad. Okay, moving on. So I need to focus on the Packers because I focused way too long on the Brewers getting swept, and I absolutely hated that I couldn't go to social media after the game because I needed it to find comfort. And even though I should have known better, it still hurt seeing all of the BS from the Cubs fans and, well, the curse of the L flag, and, oh, well, we won more games in the post. Well, yeah, because you had to play more because you didn't do as well as us. And just, I was getting so frustrated, just more and more frustrated. And then you couldn't even turn on SportsCenter because then there were like highlights like, Ohtani's the greatest. And I had to watch it against the Brewers. And I was just like, I can't take this anymore. And then the Brewers come out yesterday before the Packers game and they put their thank you fans post up. And I was like, oh, here it is. Here it is. The thing we were just dying to see, the thank you fans for another great season coming to an end. And it's just, oh, my blood is boiling. And then we watched the Packer game, and my in-laws were over, and, listen, I love them, but, especially my mother-in-law, heart of gold in that woman, but, we're watching the game, and, she wants to celebrate early in the fourth quarter because the Packers are moving the ball. And I'm like, no, we're still losing. Do you see the score? We're losing. And I'm just frustrated. And I just stopped for a second. I realized how frustrating it is that this Packers team is even at this point. Why is this Packers team that is so good and could have saved this weekend, just given us this hope of, listen, yes, the Brewers failed again, but the Green Bay Packers are here, and you don't have to worry anymore. You can still feel that hope that we all rely on as Wisconsin sports fans in the Green Bay Packers, and they just play to their competition. They play to their competition regardless of what their competition is. They did it against the Browns. They did it against the Cowboys. And now they've done it against the Cardinals, Bengals as well. I have such a hard time watching this team play against their opponent and going into the game thinking, oh, this week's going to be different. This week, they're going to show who they really are. I'm starting to think who they really are is whoever they're playing against. And that's frustrating because that's not going to win a Super Bowl. It's driving me nuts. I don't even know necessarily what to focus on as the problem because there's like 30 problems. I don't like having to deal with that because I got too much other grief that I'm focusing on across the rest of Wisconsin sports. Why can't the Packers just be what they're supposed to be? On paper, they're too good to be playing this bad, even though they're 4-1-1. I understand that, but they're not playing. They're not winning these games the way they should, and it
doesn't feel like they're 4-1-1.
No, it doesn't.
Even though they are. And if yesterday was, I hate this. I heard it on the radio. Larry McCarron goes, if the postseason started today, the Packers would be the 2 seed.
Yeah. A little early for that.
Already? Yeah, it doesn't feel good. And that's so Wisconsin sports, by the way. We're 4-1-1, first place in the division. The Brewers had the greatest season they've ever had. And here we are going, God, no, make it stop. What? What we're expecting is domination. And the NFL is a hard place to win. And so yesterday, Con Knippel said it best. We have a $200 million quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Micah Parsons said it after the game.
Mm-hmm.
Let the dude loose. But please, God, stop running and thinking that you're a running back. Slide. Like that hit that he took, I was like, no.
Yeah. What was that?
No idea. Here's one from Nick on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line. The morning mind dump on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh on the all-new Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Swallow mid-sentence. Welcome back, Trev. Jason in Sheboygan says, back-to-back 0 points for the Badgers. Fire him now. All right, got it. Nick, Yelich should never be on a postseason roster. Guy's a liability. I hate that he's not wrong.
It's insanity, though. You can't. What? You're okay.
Is it though? Is it? Why is that insanity? And listen, I'm a Yelly fan. I'm a Brewers fan, but we have to call a spade a spade. His postseason performance has been nothing short of absolutely brutal. Brutal.
Agreed.
Years now. We're going back years.
Yeah. Yep.
So I understand that you can't have a 24 or whatever $1 million guy not on the team in the playoffs.
But it's a $24 million guy that also had a great season. It's not like he sucked all season long and then also sucked in the postseason.
Did you read the text I read? Yelich should never be on a postseason roster.
I understand, but it's very difficult to have a player put up the type of season they did in the regular season and then say, but in the past, you've always sucked here. So we're not even going to have your bat in the lineup. We're going to leave you off the roster going into the NLCS, NLDS.
Completely impossible. He has to be on the playoff roster. But the fact that that's seemingly plausible based on his performance alone in the postseason is tough. That's when a guy like that needs to shine. We need him to be the leader of the pack.
I agree.
And it just didn't happen. How do we break down the Brewers season in a morning mind dump edition of Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh? I understand that everybody and their mother wants the World Series. We want it just as much, if not more than you. For ourselves and absolutely for our job. Because this morning, if I don't know, let's say it goes the other way, or let's just hypothetically say we're playing game 6 tonight in the NLCS, because I think that would be the schedule. Totally different ball game.
Mm-hmm.
We would have a completely different attitude. And yet, it is so Wisconsin sports to go, son of a gun. We did it again. Well, what did we do? Well, we didn't win the World Series. You're right. But we did get back to the NLCS for the first time since 2018. Check. We did have an NLDS victory for only the third time since 1982. Check. We had the best season in Brewers history. Check. Win streaks? Yep. Longest in team history this year. 14. Check. And yet it didn't make a World Series ring appear in Milwaukee. There's a difference between good enough and grateful. I understand what happened wasn't good enough. And I am wildly grateful. My guys in the neighborhood, all of them, the text messages that we went through in groups this year, the backyard TVs, the garages, hey, where are we watching the game tonight? The Milwaukee Brewers brought me and friends, me and family, and us in this world of conversation together like they never had before. I'm not saying it doesn't hurt. But I'm saying if you aren't grateful for what just happened, and so many people are, I'm turning it off until they figure out a salary cap. I'm never watching it. Bull.
Yep. Yeah, those are the same people that haven't tuned into the NFL since, the whole thing with the national anthem. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Doubt it.
Yeah. How's it been not watching the NFL for 6 years?
Lies. So my point here in the morning mind dump, as we get to break, and this carries over, by the way, we're doing this straight up till 8 o'clock.
Yep.
The morning mind dump, we want yours to be in here. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line, Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, the morning mind dump. Here's how I'll let us go to break. If you aren't grateful, but instead you're just bitter, dude, check yourself just for a moment. Live in what was great. I understand.
Don't tell people how to fan.
No, I'm not telling you how to fan. I'm telling you how to check yourself and be grateful for what just was.
All right.
That has nothing to do with your fandom. I'm pissed as a fan too. That sucked. Swept by the Dodgers? How about no? And yet, for us to say, well, this season was a failure. There it is, another non-World Series year. No, come on. You cannot believe that. If you're a Brewers fan, you can't believe that. The memories, the pitch by pitch, I have no idea how you would look at this season and not have a clue that this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to the Brewers. And we'll get there. The Morning Mind Up. Keep it going. 414-677-1250. This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back. The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. The morning mind dump is alive and well on Inside Wisconsin Sports. Get your text in, 414-677-1250. We want to get to all of them. We're going to attempt to do so between now and 9 o'clock. Lots of stuff to talk about, though. Andy Herman joins us next hour as well. Pack Your Day podcast. We'll get his breakdown from what was a W yesterday, by the way.
Yes, it was.
The Packers won. Let's not forget it. All right, so Bob in Minneapolis has some dumpage to share here on both the Brewers and the Packers. Let's go Brewers first. He goes, all right, here it comes. The Brewers had a great regular season. What an exciting season. They showed heart. We should be proud of them, etc. And then let's replace X player with a different X player, etc. Blah, blah, blah. The reality is the Brewers have never won a World Series. It's likely they never will.
Hey, thanks.
Having the best record is the Brewers World Series. Make yourself feel better and convince yourself this was a winning season. Bob, Minneapolis. Oh, Robert. First off, don't have to convince myself this was a winning season. This was the winningest season ever.
Correct.
Ever. To say they'll never win a World Series is stupid. Because everything, always, nothing, never makes you sound uneducated. That's not the truth. Nothing, literally nothing, is everything, always, nothing, never. My oldest son listening right now goes, he's at least giving it to them too, because I tell them all the time, that's dumb language. Don't use everything, always, nothing, never. I understand how it feels. I put a tweet out. Josh felt the same way. If the Packers season ends without a Super Bowl, I'm bummed. I see that G every single day on my drive into work. When the Badgers football team is what they are, like, am I bummed? Yeah, I would like them to be good, but it doesn't affect my life. If the Bucs season is what it is, I'm good. It's okay. I'm a fan, but I'm all right. When the Brewers lose, I literally grieve. Don't talk to me. Don't text me. Don't tell me everything's going to be all right. I don't want to hear it right now. But Friday feels like a long ways away already because we had a weekend to process it. And I understand that we're processing it now. But to say that they're never going to win a World Series, to me, Bob, is just dumb because that's clearly not the truth. Now, if 100 years from now, when we're all gone and they finally win one, we won't be here to defend ourselves, will we? But at the same token, you cannot take away the season that was. And I fully expected this morning. Frankly, from us too. Listen, it sucks. There's nothing about looking at Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday that doesn't absolutely hurt. And yet, we were back in the NLCS. We were at playoff games together, Josh.
Yes, we were.
I love that for us. I want to be here every year. And guess who's not going to win it every single year? Anybody. Nobody will win it every single year.
Maybe the Dodgers.
Every year?
Well,
probably not.
They keep
That's my point. Everything, always, nothing, never. We can't look at life that way. I can't.
No.
It's yes and. Yes, this sucks. And what a season for the Brewers. What do you got?
Jason from Kenosha. I feel like we all feel like Jason from Kenosha. He's currently in Arizona. He said, first, Trevor, great to have you back.
Hey,
Two,
man, thanks.
Got to attend the game here in Arizona, and I have to tell you, it was like Lambeau Field West. Everywhere you saw Packers fans all over the valley. That really helped with the sting of the Brewers. Go, Pack, go. Yeah, listen, that Packers win in Arizona was necessary. It was necessary, maybe not for the season, but definitely for Wisconsin sports fans. They needed to come away with the W. I wish it would have been a more dominating win, but that's being picky. It needed to be a win, and they got it. And it definitely helped with the sting. I'm telling you, we are doing a completely different show. We are feeling completely different about Wisconsin sports in general had the Packers not won that game last night.
Real bad. Chris in Brookfield. Bob Minneapolis sounds like a super fun guy to hang out with. Listen, it's almost impossible to be happy with that amount of negativity in your life. I agree. And it is no surprise to anybody on this show or listening that I'm an eternal optimist. I will always always, and I know I just said don't use the word always, but this is true. I will always look at life half full. Always. There is way more to be happy about with this Brewers season than the unfortunate 4 losses we just took on the chin from the Dodgers. Which, by the way, pause. If you as a baseball fan, don't go there. If you as a baseball fan didn't watch Ohtani in awe, you missed it. I understand it was against our Brewers.
Couldn't
I understand.
do it. I couldn't do it.
Well, then I suggest you go back and watch it.
Yeah, and I might someday, but I
That
was
was-
trying to avoid it like a swarm of bees coming after me.
When he hit the first one, I was like, uh-oh. Like that was, oh. And I was watching that game at my son's football game because I needed to be there.
Yep. Told you to save your phone battery.
Yep. Well, I should have. It didn't die. I charged it before. When he hit the second one, I was like, wow. What was that? 469 feet?
Yeah, I mean, it crushed it. That's just stupid.
Third home run, you're like, all right, now we're just, and I believe my tweet said verbatim, he's worth every penny of $700 million.
Must be
every
nice.
penny. Must be nice to have that kind of cash to give to a player. Oh, but
Right.
let's defer it.
Yeah, we just defer it.
I'll take that later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he struck out 10.
Oh, that's right. He did that on top of it. Yeah.
We're watching the greatest baseball player potentially of all time.
Here's the problem that I went through. I'm a Brewers fan first and a baseball fan second. And so that happens in any other game against any other team, I can be in awe. If it's happening against my team in a potential, game clinching situation, I can't. I just can't appreciate it the way you did.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I just said I think we're going to have to at least some point acknowledge that the greatest thing to ever step on a baseball field was against the Brewers.
Yep.
I mean, that's an all-time performance. All right, the Morning Mind Dump, Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We'll keep talking Packers next at the top of the 8. Stay here.
We're getting the band back together.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
I'm really proud of our team. I admire our team. Nothing's been said. The narrative has been said many times. But we came to an end tonight to a team that's not only talented, but great. The emotional series in the Cubs, as you guys have to know the Brewers-Cubs thing well. You have to have been part of it to understand how it really zapped a lot out of us emotionally, and then to have to come back and play right away. And then we lose a one-run game. It took us off it a little bit, and then the pitching performances by the Dodgers basically put the hammer down. We faced a really, really talented team that played really, really good. We were part of tonight an iconic, maybe the best individual performance ever in a postseason game. I don't think anybody can argue with that. Guy punches out 10 and hits 3 homers. Since the beginning of time in baseball, when you have dominant pitching on the mound, throwing 98 to 100 every guy, tremendous off-speed pitches, the command they showed. I said it was dominant pitching. You want to say our offense, I think most offenses would struggle.
Now, here's your hosts, Trevor Thomas and Josh Albrecht.
What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Live from the all-new Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. Powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hey.
Both of us on Twitter at Trevor Thomas IW at On Air Josh. You can follow the all-new Wisconsin Sports Radio Network on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, where we are live. What's up? Good to see you. Just search at WI Sports Radio. That's where you'll find the all-new Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Follow the show as well on Twitter at Inside Wis Sports. That's where you will be able to follow along with the latest and sometimes the greatest from the lives of myself and Josh and the show. We live it pretty openly there on the Twitter. Opinions aplenty.
True.
Right, wrong, or indifferent sometimes. Emotions aplenty there as well, especially as we're coming off a weekend in Wisconsin sports like we are. My God, we'll get through it. That was Pat Murphy to start this hour. His thoughts after the game on Friday night. And he said it best. The Cubs series took a ton out of the Brewers. And they just had, I would say, nothing left in the tank. If they did, it was fumes at best. And then they run into the buzzsaw that was the Dodgers, and Ohtani has just an insane, insane night. 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. I think this puts a good button on the Brewers as we transition in the 8 o'clock hour here on Inside Wisconsin Sports to some Packers talk. But let me just say this real quick.
All right.
From someone in the 262, this really does sum it up. It says, it sucks that the Ohtani light-up happened in our elimination game and it ended our season. It sucks that the Dodgers are who they are, but we will never see another Ohtani. That was a performance of a lifetime. Doesn't make you feel better.
No.
But that was a performance of a lifetime.
Yes, it was.
We do not get performances of a lifetime from the Green Bay Packers at the moment. And I think it's worth having a conversation about because at the end of the day, they're 4-1-1. And Matt LaFleur took some chances yesterday. In his post-game press conference, he talked specifically about choosing to go for it on that 4th down. The kicker ran out. They called timeout. Jordan Love must have had some look in his eyes, and they decided to go for it, which in the moment, as somebody who's going, come on, let's be, more aggressive and all that, I'm back there going, uh-oh, please don't. No. Why? Well, this is the second time in the game that we're going to take what are points and decide not to take them. Please, God, no. And then they did it. Here's Matt on what went into that decision.
Well, when our quarterback's coming off and I can see the disdain on his face, and I looked up at the clock, saw how much time was left. It wasn't by any means a chip shot, although Lucas has come in and done a hell of a job. So I just one of those deals where I was like, no matter what we call, this guy's going to make it work. And that's exactly what happened, because we had a play called for 1 versus man in candidate versus zone, and didn't necessarily get the play that we wanted, but it doesn't matter sometimes when you have guys that have confidence in what they're doing. And Tuck did a hell of a job winning on the route. Our O-line protected, and Jordan gave him a chance, and that's exactly what it took.
So that was a good play call.
Well, because it worked.
Right. But I'm saying there was other play calls in yesterday's games that were absolute head scratchers. Like, I don't know,
hold on.
One before that.
Sure. Before we get to those, though, let's focus on this play for a moment and what LaFleur says, because Con Knipple brought it up as well. As we're watching this live, they call that timeout, okay, and then they come out and they change their mind out of the timeout. This should have been the call from the get-go. Because if you were going to do that and it didn't work, you still had 2 timeouts. You had the ability to stop them and give yourself a chance to get the ball back. You waste that timeout going flip-flop and going back and forth. Now you have 1 timeout left. It literally made it to where if they didn't get the first down, the game was essentially over. You didn't have enough timeouts to stop the clock and do something. If you did, you were going to get the ball back with, who knows, 30 seconds, something like that. So that's why it was game management, timeout management, and understanding the situation. It should not have taken Jordan Love having a pouty face to turn that around in Matt LaFleur's mind and have him go, all right, get on out there, kiddo. Give it your best shot. Like, no, that has to be something that is decided ahead of time. And I think that you can be more aggressive in that situation, and you should be, knowing, hey, if everything goes to hell, we still have these timeouts. The defense can go out. Micah Parsons can try to get a 4th sack. Who the heck knows? We can, there's options, right? But you burn that timeout. I almost thought, well, now that you burn the timeout, now you almost have to kick it, because now the risk is even higher if you don't get that first down. But luckily, they got the first down, and we're having a different conversation.
And you play to win the game.
Correct.
I feel like there's a pretty popular quote that says that very thing.
You don't play to lose the game.
Well, but that is kind of how the Packers have played.
Agreed.
We certainly haven't played to win the game. And so do I hear you saying that was a bad call?
No, it was a good call, but it should have happened before the timeout. That's my point, is that the timeout that needed, without calling that timeout, that play doesn't happen. They were ready to kick the field goal, and then a timeout occurred. They took the timeout, and then, as Matt LaFleur said, Jordan Love coming off the field and, being home, that changed everything. And then he calls the timeout and thinks about blah, blah. It should never have been to that point. They should have known ahead of time, hey, if it gets to this point, we got to be aggressive, we got to go for it, or we're going to kick the field goal. The flip-flop and the burning of the timeout is what frustrated me. Because if they didn't get the first down, we are analyzing the situation way differently. Way differently. Especially now that there's only 1 timeout remaining.
279 yards and 2 touchdowns yesterday for which quarterback, Josh? Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jordan
looking
Love,
like an MVP out there.
179 yards and 1 touchdown. K2 said that to us at the top of the last hour. Con Knipple said, we have a $200 million quarterback. Can we just let him go, please?
Let him sling it.
And he did. And what I hear you saying is that should not have been a question?
Correct.
At that point in the game, what led us to believe that we shouldn't just take the points?
The entire situation.
So, no. I understand the situation. But what about yesterday's game told you that we probably should just get these points on the board? What about our offense told you that we were going to be able to execute on 4th and 2 in that position, in that game, within field goal territory to tie it up?
Not a whole lot.
Nothing. That's the answer. Literally nothing in the game told us that we were going to be able to make it on 4th and 2. And they did. So that's where this team is at. Very little about our offense right now can be trusted, counted upon, able to go and execute flawlessly. And in a game where we should have blown them out. Like at some point, the Packers need to go into a game against a team like the Cardinals and just lay them out. But they didn't.
No.
And the offense didn't look good. Josh Jacobs looked pretty good, even though I don't think he's 100%.
Not even close. No, he had that leg wrapped.
I thought Jordan Love did a great job of scattering himself all over the field. Thank God he got up after that one hit.
Yeah.
But he's moving really well. There were some throws that were misses, but I truly think there's something up with the play calling, and I can't quite put a pin on it.
It's not confident play calling.
That's the truth.
It's not confident play calling, and that's exactly what I'm saying with this specific play. It should not have come down to the look on Jordan Love's face that made that decision. Absolutely should not have been down to that. It should have been, all right, here's how much time is left on the clock. Play it out in your mind as a head coach of the what ifs. All right, we kick the field goal here. We give them the ball back. It's tied. We have 2 minutes. We probably won't see the ball again. Okay, if we just go for it right now, fourth down, we get it. We have a chance to win the game. If we don't, we still have 2 timeouts. We have a chance to put our defense back on the field, stop them, have one more go, maybe get the field goal, send it to OT. How long did that take me to do? I'm not a head coach. You have to be able to do that without needing to burn a timeout and look at the face of your quarterback. That's my frustration with Matt LaFleur in that scenario. I literally just played out the scenarios. What did it take me? 10 seconds? Come on, man. You got to be able to go through that. It can't. And if you can't go to the podium and say, well, I really didn't know until I saw Jordan Love's face. Boy, oh boy.
The 4-4. I mean, was yesterday's Packer game a game that we won that we should have lost?
Yes. Yes.
Think about that.
Absolutely. Based on how they played, 100%.
So I don't know if I can go as far as to say we should have lost. That's not fair because they did everything they needed to do to win the game. There was a few things in that game that I think if they would have gone a different way, sure, but that's almost every scenario in sports. Well, if that or this or that would have happened. The comeback and how big was that 61-yard field goal? Huge. As a matter of fact, Matt LaFleur talked about that after the game too. How big was carting out the kicker in that situation to kick a record 61-yard field goal?
Yeah, I think if you look at probably, I don't know, I'm sure the analytic guys will love this one, but the probability of us kicking a field goal there versus throwing a Hail Mary, I would say it would heavily be in favor of a long field goal right there. How about that? Franchise record. Unbelievable. Hell of a job.
Franchise record from the backup kicker.
Hell of a job.
Who they can't cut now, which is a weird problem to have.
Yeah, not a situation you thought you'd be in.
How do we use a backup kicker on a 53-man roster? Any ideas?
Nope. No.
It's taking up a spot that we could kind of need. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, they're going to make the decision to move on from Haversick, and it is what it is, but he has certainly understood the assignment in his backup role. I felt bad for Matt LaFleur yesterday after the game. Did you catch this at the start of his press conference? So Jordan Love spoke.
I did.
And then he gets carted out, and up next is Matt LaFleur. But there was a graphic at the beginning that they thought Micah Parsons, based on his 3-sack performance yesterday, the most sacks he's ever had in one game, which shockingly comes after lighting up the NFL a little bit, that he's getting held. And if you want me to be able to do my job, you got to look at this. I also found it ironic, by the way, before I get to this thing that happened at the beginning of Matt LaFleur's press conference. I found it ironic that the guy that came out last week and said that the NFL only protects quarterbacks and very little protection for anybody playing on the other side of the ball gets whistled for an illegal tackle against a quarterback. The hip drop tackle. Bad news, it completely was a hip drop tackle.
Sure.
Like that was textbook hip drop tackle. What wasn't textbook was Matt LaFleur's press conference. We don't have the audio, but there was a moment at the start of his
Couldn't
presser.
play it if we did.
Yeah, we got a lot of bleepage. The Packers representative came in after Matt LaFleur answered his first question and said to the pool, hey guys, Micah Parsons is going to be doing his interview in the locker room, as in like right now, if you want to go and, talk to him. And many a reporter stood up and walked out. And Matt LaFleur goes, well, I get it. he had a career day. It was just one of those weird, awkward moments. Go back and look it up. It's all over the place because there's some really funny moments in there from some
Packers
cohorts.
Yeah.
Cohorts in the
Well, we don't want to be
media world.
rude. We can't,
No, I don't want to be. I think it was a great reaction. I loved it.
No, I'm
Everything
saying that's
about
what they were saying. They were like, well, we have to say it because we don't want to be rude.
Right.
And then LaFleur saying, no, go ahead. Go ahead. He had a big day. Go ahead.
Yeah, it worked. Ultimately, though, Matt LaFleur made decisions yesterday based on one thing and one thing alone, and it's scared money don't make money.
Scared money don't make money. So like sometimes you gotta shoot. And when you have confidence in your players, you can't allow something. I realize, I think that was a much different situation where we were on the field in Dallas versus where we were here versus the struggles that we were having moving the football. So it was a great job by our guys going out there and executing. And if you don't have confidence in your guys, you don't do it. But I got a lot of confidence in our quarterback. I thought our line was doing a pretty good job in protection. I know our receivers can win versus bad leverages, which we had right there. And those guys made a hell of a play.
Oh, that is rich. Oh, that is rich. Do you not listen to this from Matt LaFleur going, was Matt LaFleur saying this to the media or to himself? Scared money don't make money. Yeah. Tell that to Matt LaFleur. You got to have confidence in your play. So are you saying like in the past weeks you haven't? Because this was a aggressive decision a few times in this game that we haven't seen the rest of the season. Why all of a sudden is this, well, you know what they say, scare money don't make money. What? Yeah.
Is he learning? He's learning.
Is that what this is?
Why not?
Okay. So then let's mark this down. Mark it down in our little book for next week. Hey, is that scared money don't make money? Is that still there? Let's talk about it.
Yep, put it down in the book. And I want to ask the guy that's up next about his book. Is this a fluke, or is Matt LaFleur actually coming into something here in regards to being confident in the offense, which, by the way, nobody would blame him if he wasn't. Did you watch the Packers the first few games? Not allowed to be confident. We'll get his opinion. Andy Herman with the Pack a Day podcast. He is next on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network and Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Stay here.
Hands it off to Jacobs, and he is in for a Packers touchdown, his second today.
What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh on the all-new Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Hello and good morning, Green Bay, Appleton, Wausau, Duluth Superior, and Milwaukee, statewide on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network at WI Sports Radio. It's how you follow along. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And you know where to find him. Andy Herman, the Pack-A-Day podcast, and at Andy Herman NFL. All right, screw the NFL. Let's talk about the Brewers for a second, Andy.
Oh, boy.
Let's just get this out, and then we'll rehash yesterday's game and talk about what is. But you're just as much of a Wisconsin sports fan as the rest of us.
Yep.
How do you view this Brewers season, the regular season and postseason combined? As a fan, how do we process this? Help us.
It's a great question. You in sports, you obviously play to win championships, and this was arguably the best Brewers team ever, at least from a regular season standpoint. There was a lot of hope and expectations. They had home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and they had, again, best regular season in franchise history. They beat the Cubs, their rivals in the NLDS, in a very fun and exciting NLDS. And then I hate to say no show, but they are completely non-competitive in the NLCS to a degree that is arguably embarrassing. Now, the Dodgers are insane. It's an all-star team. I don't know how many teams would have been competitive the way that the Dodgers were pitching in that series. Their lineup is a massive pain. Ohtani won a game literally on his own. That's annoying. It's frustrating. They were unbelievable. I give so much credit to them for how they played. Now, we know the salary cap situation, everything like that. We don't need to dive into that, but they were unbelievable. I still think you cannot have one run per game, set futility records over a 5-game period, including the last game of the DS for the last few hits, or the fewest hits in baseball history in a 5-game playoff stretch. Like that part is extremely, extremely disappointing. I'm a UWGB women's fan, a women's basketball fan. There is -% chance that they ever win a national championship, right? They win their Horizon Conference almost every year, and that's almost the expectation going in. Them getting to the Sweet 16, which they've done on a couple occasions, is like their national championship. If they can make it to the Sweet 16, that's like a unbelievable national championship. I can't quite get there with a professional team, but it just almost feels like for a team that is outspent 6-1, whatever the heck it is, that there's a certain level that you just get to where there's going to be a team that you get there and they're that much better than you. I'm not quite there. It's still frustrating. It's disappointing. I'm not going to celebrate just getting to the NLCS. That's not where I'm at. I still look at this season overall fondly, but man, does the ending leave a massive bitter taste in your mouth.
That's a really interesting comparison that you just made to GB Women's. By the way, Andy Herman joins us on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, and the all-new Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. I'm a little involved with UWGB athletics here in Northeast Wisconsin, where I live. And that's a really fascinating point. But to your other point, it's professional sports. And at some level, we're going to have to either A, like level the playing field for real, or B, just accept what is and then move on. Is that how we should look at the Packers too? Should we just accept what is and move on? Because yesterday felt, dude, this is the weirdest 4-1-1 team I've ever watched. Help me process this. I'm just kidding. You know what? First time caller, long time listener, great topic. Love the show. What? What?
The first thing I will say is I think this is maybe one of the weirdest starts to a season in the NFL that I've seen. Everything is weird, right? The Chiefs have 3 losses. The Bills have lost 2 in a row. The Eagles have a couple losses. The Ravens are 1-5. The Colts, who I literally predicted, I'll just eat this one in the face really hard. I literally predicted, I think, to be the worst team in football this year. They're on the top of the league. Like this, it's just a really weird season. This Arizona team, this is exactly the game that they've given everyone, including the 49ers, including the Colts a week ago. They're in it until the very end. In fact, that Colts game was eerily reminiscent, where the Cardinals were up to end the fourth quarter, and then they had to go down and get a touchdown. The Colts did, in order to take that lead, that 4-point lead, and then the Colts couldn't get it at the end. It was almost the exact same script in that game as the Packers game was. However, no, I do not think that we need to accept this for what it is. I would think pretty much anyone would tell you. In fact, Xavier McKinney will absolutely tell you that this team is nowhere near playing to its expectation yet. That's a very easy and simple thing to say. I think that does fall a lot on Matt LaFleur. And there's no question about that. I think this does need to be a team that is a little bit better prepared, that is a little less cute, that does find a way to play up to their potential and win these games. And not necessarily, I don't need it to be a 14 or 21 or blowout victory or whatever, but just looking a little bit more cohesive, competent, etc. throughout the course of the game, rather than these flashes that look incredible. I would like to see a little bit more consistent football through 4 quarters. Now, where I think it's insane is to get to the point of like, well, let's just fire everyone or trade everyone or everything needs to change or do this. That to me is just crazy, but there's absolutely a ton that needs to get worked on here. And it does absolutely border on, or at least get, maybe for some, get past the level of frustrating that this team is clearly not learning from their mistakes in the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, first 4 or 5 games of the season. For me personally, I'm willing to give a little bit more accident forgiveness of like, hey, these things are early in the season. Let's see if they can start correcting them, getting them on the right track. And for things like penalties, for things like special teams penalties specifically, for things like offensive line not run blocking the way that they need to, for the defensive passing game to like almost continue to look worse week by week. Those are things that are now trends. They're not just, simple patterns, they're trends. So I think there's a lot that needs to get cleaned up. I think that's fair to say. At the same time, they've got the 3rd best record in football, could be the 2nd best record in football by the end of tonight. I still think the favorites in the NFC, and they're still finding ways to get it done in the end. So a lot of work to do, but they're in a good spot, all things considered.
Yeah. I mean, it is crazy to just, when you look at it that blankly of where they are and what they can be, based on the games we've watched them play this season. Andy, you just said there's a ton of things that they have to work on. I agree with you. Watching that game yesterday was very frustrating because defensive side of the ball, offensive side of the ball, didn't matter. There were mistakes made. So I'm letting you put on your GM head coach cap this morning. What's the first thing they focus on if they're going to, I don't want to say necessarily right the ship, but fix these mistakes?
I'm gonna go full Mike McCarthy on this one. We got to go back to the fundamentals. We got to make sure that we're getting our pad level right. That's what we need the most, in my opinion. It's like offensive line needs to play with better fundamentals. They need to play with better footwork, better hands, and they need to be more consistent up front. When Jordan has time as a passer, he's been an assassin. When Josh Jacobs gets any room whatsoever, he's been unbelievable. So to me, it starts with the offensive line. I think the receivers are getting open at an extremely reasonable rate. You're going to get Watson and Reed back at some point. I'm not concerned about the overall state of that wide receiver room. Tucker Kraft is playing incredible. You got check down options in Kraft and Jacobs, etc. Mm-hmm. So to me, it starts on the offensive line. So last week, when I talked about this after the Bengals game, when people said like, well, what's wrong with this team? I said, the number one thing is they're not winning the turnover battle. Like if you want to win in the NFL, and you're not winning the turnover battle, it makes it really difficult just to win in the NFL. If you want to blow out teams in the NFL, or you want to look dominant against teams in the NFL, you better win the turnover battle, because it's really insanely difficult if you don't do that. Now, they won this one 1-0. It was almost 2-0. It swung the game in a major way. If you want to count the turnover on downs, that also helped them win in a major way in this game. But that's again, still overall for me, they got to start generating a few more turnovers. Offensively, to me, why this team doesn't look the way it is, I know that everyone's frustrated with some of the second down run calls and the first down run calls, and certainly the third down sweep in this one, the third down toss to the outside and the short side of the field. Those are mind-numbing play calls, all right? I'm not defending those in any way. If this team is run blocking better and running the football better, I think it was like 18 for like 70 something or right around there yesterday. Like they would look a whole heck of a lot better on offense if they were just running the football like the way that they did against the, like Indianapolis and Tennessee and some of those teams a season ago. This offense looks way better. So to me, you got to start generating turnovers on defense. I do think you have a bit of a corner issue right now. And maybe it's as simple as putting in Carrington Valentine instead of Nate Hobbs in some obvious passing situations. And I think you got to start generating a couple more turnovers. Thankfully, they got one in this game.
I can't help but feel, Andy, like this team just can't stay locked in for 4 quarters. They can't keep their foot on the pedal to the floor for 4 quarters. They had plenty of flashes in the pan last night of, oh, see? So this team can do it. Here's a perfect example. But they couldn't do it consistently in any phase of the game, regardless. Special teams, offense, defense, didn't matter. They just showed you it can be done, to where if they could just figure out a way to do that all 4 quarters, I don't think they're in these type of situations. They're putting themselves in these type of situations because they let their foot off the gas. They make mistakes. They're not and you can go with on the field, off the field with coaching. It just seems it's all over the place, not consistent, not locked in.
Yeah, I mean, we saw proof of concept in week 1 against Detroit of what this team, I think, is capable of. Even if you take that garbage time touchdown away at the end, that was a complete butt kicking of the Detroit Lions. That's what this team is capable of. And even that game, I think the third quarter was a little bit lackadaisical overall. But to your point, like if they can start playing like that more consistently, and if they can show up for 4 quarters of the game, it felt like yesterday, beginning of the game, defense was bending, but they weren't breaking, but they were still holding the team down to 6 points up until that final drive. And the offense couldn't do anything. Like it was the offense was deciding, we're going to no-show this. And then the defense starts not holding their side of the bargain. And then the offense starts picking it up. And you're like, well, the offense is playing great now. Now the defense can't stop anyone. And again, it probably took that Rashawn Gary forced fumble and the stop on 4th and inches. Like that's why you ultimately were able to, what I would say is kind of escape Arizona with that win, is because you did get those turnovers and you were able to swing it in your favor. That was the only sense of real complimentary football in that game. And even then, after a few of those, you had like the kick return that with the face mask penalty that brought him past midfield, or you would just have these things where, you immediately start feeling like you've got a foothold in the game. And it's like, oh, nope, Arizona's got it right back. So I'm with you. I think it needs to be a lot more consistent. And outside of the Detroit game, for the vast majority of that game, it hasn't felt like they've been able to put that 4-quarter game together.
Andy Herman joins us on Inside Wisconsin Sports on the all-new Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Follow him on Twitter at Andy Herman NFL, and of course the Pack a Day podcast as well. Andy, why, as we let you go on with your Monday to end it here with your spot, which we are grateful that you join us on Mondays and Fridays. Friday, we're going to talk a lot about Aaron Rodgers. Just a heads up.
Sure.
I think that's part of the conversation that we're going into this week.
Absolutely.
But before there, after this weekend, and of course the first 6 weeks now of games, 7 weeks in the NFL, why is the bullseye so big on Matt LaFleur's back? Can you pinpoint that?
Yes, I absolutely can. The first thing I will say is going all in is fun. Trading for Micah Parsons is fun. It's awesome. He was unbelievable. They don't win that game yesterday without Micah Parsons. 3-sack performance, coming up with 2 red zone sacks and a sack on the final drive to kind of seal things at the end. That's awesome. That's really, really fun. But when you do that, the weight of expectations comes with it as well. And almost to the point where they're 4-1-1 on the season, 3rd in the NFL. Again, they are. I double checked. They're tied with Detroit for best odds to win the NFC, and it's not good enough. It's not good enough. You have to be more consistent. You have to be better. You have to win games more convincingly. And certainly, you can't be losing games to the Cleveland Browns. And you'd like to not come away with ties against Dallas. So with great players and with great opportunity comes great expectations. And I think, to be fair, I don't think they've quite lived up to that yet. Although there's a lot of season left. I think also there's a bit of a hangover effect from last year where this team was seemingly trending in the right direction. And then they lose their last 3 games of the season, including against Philadelphia, where that game wasn't super competitive. You got the Keyshawn Nixon fumble to start the game. And I think there's a little bit of a hangover from that. And then listen, I think Matt's done an incredible job in the regular season. The postseason record is what it is. They've had opportunities in 2020, 2021 specifically to go out and I think be extremely competitive. 2020 was a massively disappointing loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC Championship game. 2021, we know the divisional round game and how that ended. And then, despite, I think 23 was an awesome scenario where you beat Dallas and it was kind of house money. And then you went toe to toe with San Fran and people thought that was like a respectable loss and we're excited. But again, 2024, you lose immediately to Philly in the first round. I think the playoff record is not what it needs to be overall. And I think there is insane expectations for this team right now when you go out and get Micah Parsons, because I think a lot of people, right or wrong, viewed this team as a Super Bowl contender before you got Micah, and then you got Micah and it supercharged that to a high degree. So I think the expectations, I think the hangover from last year, I think the playoff record, Matt knows, I'm sure better than anybody, you are consistently on the hot seat until you go out and win a Super Bowl. Like when you win a championship, you gain yourself, a few years in that scenario, usually at least of a little bit of grace and mercy. But until you do that, you have to prove that you are a Super Bowl champion coach. And that's always going to be the question until he does it. So there's high expectations. He's got to go out and prove it. And until he does that, this is probably going to be the norm for better or worse.
Which means you're definitely walking out of his press conference to go talk to Micah Parsons, right? Like you're leaving.
That would have been an interesting. I probably would have stayed with Matt, just knowing my usual routine, but not talking to Micah would have been a disappointment for sure. That's just got to be better managed by the Packers PR staff. Come on, you can't have Micah and Coach talking at the same time. But again, sometimes those things happen.
Felt kind of bad. At Andy Herman NFL, follow along at Pack-A-Day Podcast. He joins us every Monday and every Friday at 8:25. Man, big week. Steelers week. You knew it was coming, and it's here. Oh, boy. Andy Herman, thanks for jumping on, man. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys. Talk to you Friday.
The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Andy Herman knows his stuff. Make sure to follow along. If you need to be in the know about the Packers, he's the guy. Absolutely the guy. All right. We will wrap up today with What's Up, Wisconsin. That's next. Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios are powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Hang on.
Trevor and Josh want to know.
What's up?
What's up, Wisconsin?
What's up?
What's your plan for the day?
What's up?
What are you doing tonight?
What's up?
Let us know what's up on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Well, what's up, Wisconsin? Get it in. 414-677-1250, the final segment of Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. A huge thank you to our statewide affiliates, WNFL on 99.7 and 101.9 in Green Bay and Appleton. You can hear us down there as well. Wausau on 93.9 FM, Duluth Superior on 710 AM, and The Fan in Milwaukee on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM. What's up, Wisconsin? What do you got going on tonight? What's up tonight? What's up today? How are you doing after the weekend? How are you getting over it? What do you got on your calendar today? Josh, you go.
All right. Well, first, sports. Always sports.
Because sports.
Game 7 of the ALCS. Exactly the scenario that I was hoping the Brewers would find themselves in. Oh, man, if we could make this a series. No, it's happened on the other side. Mariners and the Blue Jays, 7:08. I'm going to be watching that probably over football, although football starts first tonight, which is very, very weird. Okay. I don't know how you feel about these doubleheader Monday Night Football games.
I'm indifferent, honestly. I know I said in the break off air I don't like it, but I'm indifferent. I know I set you up perfectly for that.
You did. You sure did.
Well, you just said you don't like it. Yeah. Well, now I changed my mind.
Change your mind.
Honestly, it's dumb. I want one game on Monday Night Football. Is that too much to ask? But of course, the NFL has to absolutely double dip every chance they get. So it's Detroit in the Eastern time zone and then Western time zone at 9:00. I hate that.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm not indifferent anymore. I still hate it.
Okay. So you just had to talk yourself back to it. Yeah. So, I mean, so what? So the Buccaneers and the Lions are an hour before the ALCS starts, right?
Yeah. 6.
Yeah. So you could have a whole hour of football before you watch some baseball, depending on how that game's going. And then,
okay, this is a great question.
Yeah.
For you? All right, so then 9:00, right, with the Seattle game. It's Houston at Seattle at 9. You have 3 sports options, a fourth when your son plays his final JV1 football game tonight at 5:00. So I've got a night ahead of me.
Oh, yeah, you do.
But all the sports on TV, what are you watching? Are you watching Monday Night Football or Game 7 of the ALCS?
I'm watching Game 7.
Absolutely.
It's Game 7.
Those are the 2 greatest words in sports. That's what everybody keeps saying. Game 7.
Now, if it's Game 7 and one team is up 9-0 in the fourth, then maybe I'm going, all right, I already saw the best moments of this game. I'm going to flip the channel and see what's going on in the NFL. But if it's close, if it's intense, it's Game 7. You watch Game 7s over 2 teams that aren't yours playing football. It's just the way that it goes. It's the way that it should go. Anyway, now I know some people are going to be like, no, the Brewers, I'm still too hurt from the Brewers. I can't enjoy baseball at all. But it's Game 7, people. Come on, man.
And I love baseball. Like I think I've mentioned that on this show a time or two. I'm a huge fan of just baseball, good baseball. That series has been very good baseball. 7:08 first pitch, Mariners at Toronto. We'll see who comes away and meets those god-awful Dodgers in the World Series. Ugh. All right, to the talk and text line, 414-677-1250. A couple here. Here's one in the 262, picking up 4 free jackets. Marketplace rules.
Are any of those
on me?
I'm hoping it is. But he said 4 of them, not like one still good quality 15-year-old quarter zip.
Stinky one. You missed the stinky part.
Yeah,
Jacob in the van. I love all the wrestling themes for the segment intros. Solid. Good call. Hope you heard the getting the band back together at the top of the hour too, Jake. We were talking about that online last night. That's awesome.
Yep.
Jovan.
Yeah,
the
Jovan.
630 guy. Going to Marcus Cinema to see No Packers, No Life. It's a documentary about a group of foreign Packers fans who get invited by a couple of locals to come to Green Bay and experience their first game at Lambeau Field. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. There you go. It's a good way to spend your night.
JV1 football, FVL Foxes at Deep Here. So this is interesting for me. It's no secret to anybody that I live in Northeast Wisconsin. I've called Deep Here home for almost 20 years, but I'm from Southeast Wisconsin. I grew up there. My son is a sophomore in high school, and he plays JV1 football. I did not know this, but apparently it's hard for high schools at certain levels to actually get a JV1 football team on the field. And so last week, there was a game scheduled against a school that had one, and then all of a sudden they didn't. And so now we are playing the exact same team as we did last week, this week. It's a home and away series, and it's against De Pere, where we live. And so if my kids weren't going to Fox Valley Lutheran, they'd be going to either De Pere or West De Pere. So there's a game tonight, 5 o'clock in De Pere, FVL at De Pere.
There you go.
They kind of stomped us last week. I'm not going to lie. It wasn't a bad game, but it was not as close as we were all hoping. And there was a theory that if one of these teams came out and stomped the other one, that they weren't going to play this week. All right, good season, guys. Like, that wouldn't make sense, right? I didn't feel like it was necessarily equal, but the boys want to take one more run at it. And so, by golly, that's what we're going to do.
Well, there you go.
At 5 o'clock.
I like that. Hey, how about the 414 here saying, watching Raw tonight? Man, I got to tell you, I've been wanting to catch up on WWE for so long, and I haven't had time. I've been so in on baseball and Brewers, and I have like 9 hours of wrestling to watch.
We have a guest that we're going to bring into the show real quick. We owe him a grand old thank you bucket full of awesomeness for jumping on last week. Mitch Thunder Nellis joins Inside Wisconsin Sports. Hey, buddy, thanks again for taking my seat last week. I really appreciate it.
Well, I don't think I quite filled it appropriately, but it was good to be there. It's much better to hear you on the airwaves than me from 6A to 9A.
I appreciate that. And
Wow.
It's much better that you get to sleep in. Let's be real.
Checks in the mail.
That also is true. I had to chime in real quick. Man, I hate 2 Monday Night Football games. I know it's baseball night, and I'm going to be watching Game 7 tonight, but whether there's something else going on or not, I just don't like 2 Monday Night Football games. I don't care if they start 3 hours apart, 1 hour apart, 4 minutes apart, whatever. I do not like one game. I love how frenetic Sunday can be and watching all the games. But Monday night, man, is one game.
Yeah, I agree. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yep.
But
with that said, I'm excited for exactly. I'm excited for Detroit Tampa because I think that's a good game. But I'll be watching baseball, and obviously Raw will be on the DVR because Little Rumble and I will catch up on it tomorrow.
There we go. Thanks,
appreciate
bud.
you, Mitch. Thanks you. Talk to you soon. Mitch Thunder Nellis holding down the fort while I was out last week.
Yep.
Hey, buddy. We're back.
We're back.
The band is back together. Thank you for all the warm well wishes back. Had some stuff last week. I appreciate you guys having the grace to let us get through it. And now we are back, and we are here to stay inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh on the all-new Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. We will see you tomorrow.
Because we are not done yet.